On to you, Leos. You have the Page of Wands, the Lovers, and then you Leos also have the Page of Cups. So from what I'm seeing here for these readings, I'm really seeing that there's a change up with how a lot of a lot of the zodiac signs are changing how they will interact with others. Let's see if that's like that for you. So for you crabs, you have the Page of Wands, the Lovers, and the Page of Cups, like I was talking about. Um, there's a sense of you crabs. Okay, there's a sense of you crabs actually being kind of hard on yourselves, where you crabs thought that you were delusional about certain things, and uh the high priestess represents you thought of yourselves as basically being tripping, or you tripping out, right? Let's get into this. These three cards right here, you thought that the relationships that you were getting yourself into was not worth it. But what you don't understand is the high priestess. You have people that, even though they've given you a difficult time, they're still very much drawn to you, crabs, regardless of even if you're not speaking to them. You have a lot of people who still very much so like you, even though you're not speaking to them. Even the people that you do speak to, you very much that they very much so like you. And uh hold on a second. I want to know what you make. You making mashed potatoes? Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. So what was I saying? So yeah, mashed potatoes, green beans, and turkey. Very nice. Anyway, so there's a sense of you crabs very much so. That's what you're hearing. But there's a sense of you crabs very much so thinking of yourselves as being delusional. Like, why is it that you did certain things? Why did you interact with people certain ways? If you only knew better. And to be honest with you, crabs, y'all got to get that out y'all system. You did the best that you crabs could. For the ones of you who are honest, you did the best that you could. No one is perfect. No one knows absolutely everything. You got to get that out of your system. And you crabs have to learn to forgive yourselves, because at the end of the day, y'all are not terrible people. So you were just looking for love. You were looking for love from family. You were looking for love from uh, relationships. And that's okay, right? You just need to understand that when you're doing that, you just need to be discerning with that, though. If a person is disrespectful, if a person is disregarding you, you can't hang around them. You can't hang around those individuals. And see, the Page of Cups speaks to how you crabs, you are a little bit hard on yourselves, where you think that you're delusional. And I mean, all of us are delusional at first. And then we allow ourselves to go down one of two paths, right? One of three paths, where it's like we're either the lion, the hyena, or in between, where it's like we are taking the middle road, where it's like we're doing things crooked, we're doing things messed up, but at the same time we have good intentions, and we do things sometimes that is actually good natured. And so because of it, a lot of you crabs are probably in the middle road, making a decision on where it is that you want to go between a lion slash lioness or a hyena. And that's what it is. And see, the high priestess represents, but what you don't understand is that a lot of people like you anyway, like I was talking about. Even the individuals that were giving you a difficult time, they like you as well. Okay? They like you, they love you, they have a predilection for you. They have an affinity for you. And then you have the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles represents You crabs just essentially have to, be in your own world. What are you going to do, right? As far as it's saying, basically, see, the High Priestess in the Nine of Pentacles is saying, don't worry about what it is that you crabs have gone through as far as the difficulties with these stupid individuals. Don't worry about that, right? What you crabs should be worried about, what I'm seeing here is you crabs essentially should be worried about what you've got going on, because there's a sense of, you crabs wanting a significant other, wanting family members, but it's like you're wondering if you've actually did the right thing by letting go or excommunicating from so many people, right? Maybe, you crabs have the mentality of, maybe you overdid it. And I'm here to let you crabs know, no, you didn't overdo it. You did not overdo it. What it is, and I've talked about this before, the vast majority of people on earth are dysfunctional. Everybody has, no one's perfect. No one is perfect, but the majority are dysfunctional though, right? This is why, like it is I was talking about in sheer numbers, you're not going to find someone so easily, right? Shout out again, once again, shout outs to Adara's altar, or shout outs to Adara's altar. Basically said the same thing that I was saying for years now about how it is that when you strive to be on point, it doesn't matter how much you are on point, that is no guarantee that the people that gravitate to you are going to be on point. And so the Nine of Pentacles are saying, don't worry about what others have got going on as far as if they like you or not. 10 chances to 1, if they're in your life, they like you. Now, granted, the true problem is, are they functional and are they willing to reciprocate in kind? Then you have the Ten of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune being you crabs, right? So the Ten of Swords right here speaks to how you crabs very much so are and then you have the Wheel of Fortune, right? And then you have the Temperance. Your circumstance, regardless of whether or not you see it at this current exact moment, is turning around. You're going from being hard on yourselves, regardless of whether you know it or not, whether you can see it or not. You crabs are going from being on some Ten of Swords, hard on yourselves, and being betrayed, to the Wheel of Fortune and the Temperance, right? The Wheel of Fortune represents the turnover or the change. And then the Temperance represent where you are actually headed to, even though you crabs may not have necessarily realized it as of yet, but you are heading in that direction now as we speak. Even now as we speak. The Temperance represents a much better version of yourselves. Because the reason why it is I'm saying that is because you crabs have an understanding that you're in a lot better, how do I say this? You're in a better position than what most people give you credit for. That's number one. Number two, you crabs have been through so much and you haven't allowed that to make you into a terrible or worse person, right? Some people, they allow their experiences to essentially break them. And so they develop this mentality. I can't explain to you how many times I've heard people say this to me, that they see other people getting results, right? Air quotes, getting results by treating other people like trash. And they're tempted to treat other people like trash because what is the point of being so kind? And I always have to tell them that those people are already caught up in the issue, because they don't understand their surroundings. They so caught up with needing to get somewhere and get some sort of benefit and get somewhere, that they don't really see the bigger picture, that a person who is dysfunctional, the only way that they can act right for the time being, even for a minute, is for you to wild out on them, scream at them, tell them to calm down, sit down, do this, do that. if you're not paying attention, you can get so caught up with having to correct, have this person be good with for a few seconds, to the point where you're not paying attention to how you yourself is becoming. You understand what I'm saying? So you end up now becoming that person that has to while out on that person constantly, while it's making you and turning you into a completely different person, because you crabs would have entered into a relationship, if you're not paying attention, and think, oh, things are supposed to be amazing between the two of you. And then the person keeps disrespecting you. If you don't let go of that person, leave them be, dump them, get rid of them, you will now have to be on some sadomasochistic type of relationship where the two of y'all are doing things to each other. And then next thing you know, you crabs end up turning into this whole new person. And then you're like, well, and then you're like, wait, I'm not like that. No, but you are like that because you have become this. So you can't say no. In theory, you're not like that, right? And this is the thing that you crabs are learning, that is another entanglement in on itself. The fact that, which is what it is that you crabs avoided, thankfully, right? That you saw why this is an entanglement. How, if you're not careful, this is why it is. I keep telling y'all, it's so subtle. This is what I've been saying. Everybody wants to make it seem as if I'm paranoid. Oh, not everyone, but some people want to make it seem as if I'm paranoid. Oh, you know what you're talking about. This is how subtle it is. You can be in a relationship with somebody, and then the next thing you know, the person has to have you keep wilding out on them. And then you end up becoming said person, and you with your hands up like, yo, I don't even know how I got here. Like, I'm not even quite sure as to what happened. And then you saying, wait, I'm not like that though. And you may not be outside of that. But then when you separate yourself from the person, you revert back to not being like that, where you got to be on some sadomasochistic stuff where the two of you are doing things to each other. Then you got it, right? You got to take time out, because now you've built up a reputation, and then that person is ruining your reputation in the streets. This is why you should never get yourselves caught up with this. But then the Four of Wands and the Ace of Wands here represents, there's a sense also of you staying away from households where, people be doing stuff to you in the home, because that's essentially where it is that it starts. That's why you get a lot of these gangsters or these thugs who come outside and they get angry at the world. It's because the people inside of the house, whoever it is inside of the residence, start with them, and then they come outside. That's, truth be told, that's part of the reason why they be wanting to be outside all the time. That's part. So now they coming out here angry to the mug, ready to start stuff with people. That's why it is. I just tell you, crabs, and I'm not convinced, because I know what it is. Inside the house is dysfunctional, so they come outside and now they're upset. Now it's, yo, I'm ready to wild out on anybody that even move the way that I don't like. That's what it is, because they're not paying attention to, I got to pay attention to my surroundings. You understand what I'm saying? And then, so a lot of you crabs are striving to be above that, because you crabs see this thing for what it is. You crabs understand how you're going to interact with others. You're going to be a lot more forgiving, but you crabs are also going to understand whom to essentially stay away from. There's a sense of you crabs understanding that it's not your fault. The best thing for you crabs to do is to still do what you got to do. Approach people, have them approach you if that's what they want to do. Interact. If they start wilding, do not engage with them, because this is their plan on having you. I'm not bothered by that, but this is their plan on having you wilding out. You don't want that. You see. So now let's clarify the Ace of Wands. You have the Eight of Wands, the Four of Wands, the Two of Wands, Five of Cups, and then the Three of Wands. A lot of wand cards. So there's a lot of conflict resolution. There's a lot of letting people go their own way. You're right. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of letting people find their own path and not feeling like you have to apply pressure to set people on the path and almost like force them to do right. There's a sense of you, crabs, being like, hey, everybody gonna go ahead and do their own thing. Surfer, right? Surfer lifestyle. If you ever paid attention to a surfer, that's what a surfer does. A surfer essentially doesn't hold on to anything or to anyone. They surf waves. You understand what I'm saying? Now, me personally, I don't necessarily know if I go to the extreme surfer where it's like they live on the beach. I don't know about all that one, but I definitely understand the concept, right? The Eight of Wands and the Four of Wands and the Two of Wands, to clarify, the Ace of Wands speaks to how you, crabs, understand that there's a lot more in store for you, right? There's a lot more of relationships in store for you. You know, and to not allow mishaps with dysfunctional people who want to give you the Ten of Swords. Don't allow that to have you, crabs, start thinking, maybe if I start wilding out and start being like this and disrespectful, maybe those people will be in line, at the expense of your soul, though. And then the Four of Wands and the Two of Wands, you're going to watch how it is that people interact with you domestically. The Five of Cups and the Three of Wands represents how, because a lot of you just want to make sure that, you know, a person isn't going to mistreat you and disrespect you. So if not, you'll just go find somebody else. So there's a sense of you, crabs, understanding your power, understanding that, you know, understanding where it begins. It begins in the home the majority of the times. It begins with the fact that, you know, you have to be okay with yourself. You have to not chastise yourself to so much of an extent that you're doing, that you crabs have to understand that you're doing the best that you can. You're doing the absolute best that you can. You're being patient. The mere fact that you, crabs, are hard on yourselves means that you've actually made the necessary change. You're already doing it. You're just making more changes as time go on, as it is fit, because the Temperance represents you, crabs, understand that, you know, you have a lot of dysfunctional individuals. So that's pretty much it. That's all I have for you. You, crabs, are doing an absolute amazing job. You're learning the lessons that you're supposed to. And 2025, moving forward into the next years, will be very interesting for you. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Trying to get the channel to 100K. We have 17,600 subscribers. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set that notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos. And also, too, if you'd like to contact me for a personal reading, cybersecurity, birth chart reading, and all of that stuff, you know, merchandise, the books that I have there on Amazon, all of that is in the Linktree link in the comment section below.